Hey everybody, here we are again, and it's a Mangrove Jack's Craft Series American IPA, recipe number 15, here to talk about it. So, it's a pouch in a pouch kit. Said it before, in a pouch. So it came in a pouch, cut it open, there's a pouch in a pouch. One random side of the pouch, I've taken several photographs of different kits. Doesn't matter where the front label is, it could be in the back or the front, is the pouch in a pouch. Not going to rant. Came in the kit was 50 grams of hop pellets, American IPA, dry hop stage. By the way, I chopped off that bit from the pouch in a pouch in a pouch to put on the fermenter and on the barrel, so I knew what was there. It also came with some instructions that I completely ignored as usual. It came with Mangrove Jack's US West Coast yeast M44, which I also didn't use. I reused my SO4 yeast as usual, because we're doing a baseline comparing kits, and the only thing that is going to be the same is the yeast. Other facts and figures. There should be some facts and figures on there, sorry, yes. Extra fermentables required. No sugar required. Either a kilo of dextrose, brew enhancer, or table sugar, doesn't mention that, or pure malt enhancer, 1.2 kilos. I'm assuming that's a liquid. Makes 23 litres, net weight 2.5 kilos. Right, so the dry hops: Simcoe 25 grams, Citra 15 grams, and Equinaut 10 grams. Not sure I've used them before. Approximate ABV of 5.6% alcohol. Some just tasting notes on there, but we won't look at them just yet. I've not looked at them, don't worry. I don't do much looking on kits. I just go with the flow, don't I? So I didn't want such high ABV, so I thought I'd drop the sugar a bit. I only used 600 grams of standard table sugar, but the starting gravity was 1.054 at 18 degrees C. I was hoping it was going to end quite high at 5.4. Dry hopped with the 50 grams of hops, of which I've told you about, for approximately 2 days. The final gravity was not overly high, 1.016 at 20 degrees C, which gives an ABV of approximately 5.163%. A little higher than I would like. I prefer 4.5 at most, 4.2 at best. 4. But no, it's 5.1. So let's have a look at it. Slightly hazy. Disappointing. Not my fault. Brewing process fault. Let's give it a flash. It's a golden colour. You may have noticed that you can produce a head. Now, it is particularly warm because we're in a heat wave in the UK, so it's shockingly above 20 degrees C. About 22, 23, maybe 24, pushing it. Yeah, so golden colour. Produces a head, doesn't keep it. Never has, even when it was cooler. At best, it keeps a ring. It does produce minimal lacing on the glass. So, let's give it a sniff. Getting tropical fruity notes on the nose. I've had a couple already. Tropically. It's not overly citrusy on the nose. It's more mango, perhaps pineapple. But beer for drinking. Let's give it a whirl. Up front, there's a near when you really concentrate on it, a near dank cardboard taste. That is the dry hops. Because hop pellets, unreliable. You've got everything in there. You've got leaves, you've got bits of twigs, all ground up. Who knows what you've got? Not necessarily just the cones of the hops, probably the whole plant. And it tends to produce a dark, earthy, dank, wet cardboard flavour, especially if you dry hop too long. This one is difficult to pick out because I only dry hopped it for 2 days. If I dry hopped it for 3 days, that'd be, yeah, it's cardboard, yeah. Yeah, when you think about it, if you don't think about it, it's sort of masked over because it swiftly goes into citrus. Yeah, slightly dank, citrus, and then it sort of goes into a mango-y flavour, maybe pineapple. Dies off, not as bad, and has a reasonable bitter in. It's almost too citrusy for me. Yeah, apart from that little dip right at the beginning, there's quite a bit of citrus in that. And then It eases off into a gentle bittering and earthy tones. Let's see what it says on the tasting notes. Bully side. Crisp and dry. Yeah, no real sweetness there. Bursting with tropical fruit aromas. Yeah, I said there was yeah. Great balance between complex fruit and malt tones. I'm not getting overly many malt tones, so I wouldn't say a great balance between complex fruit and malt tones. There is a complex fruit note, followed by an intense bitterness. I wouldn't say it's an intense bitterness. Fruity, citrusy. There is some bitterness on the tongue. No, it's more of a pleasant, gentle bitterness. So much for tasting notes. Would I buy it again? Probably not. Not my piece of cake. Better beers out there. Right, yeah. Like, comment, subscribe. See you next time. Cheers. Bye.